What is going on, everybody? This is Yes, I Read That, and today I'm finally back after a super long break. I'm very sorry, but I'm here to review this book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Yuval Noah Harari. Alright, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. This is actually the first book I read by Harari. He has a super famous book called Sapiens, and I didn't read that one yet because I really want to read this. I like this book a lot, but I'll go into the contents because this is not about 21 lessons. It's a bit more complicated than that. So I'll get into the content of the book, then talk about my likes and dislikes, and finally give you my score for the book. So the content is organized, like the title says, into 21 lessons, and each of these lessons applies to the 21st century, so some of the modern problems we face today. So that means there are chapters on how we work, on war, on religion, on immigration, education, and a bunch of other topics that are very relevant today. In these chapters, Harari usually goes on to describe the topic and then give a historical background, because I believe he has a background in history, and then in the historical context he basically tells us how this could move on in the future, and then in the end of the chapter he basically tells you how the discussion should go, how he thinks the discussion about this topic should go on in the future. I really enjoyed his perspective, more on that later in my likes. So one example he brought up is how technology and AI could change our lives in the future, and I just want to tell you this little glimpse into what the book offers. So this is when he wrote about AI and technology, and one of the visions he had for the future was basically like this. For example, you want to get a new car and you say, okay Google, based on everything you know about cars and the world, based on everything you know about me, how I view the world, how I view maybe American politics or Middle Eastern politics or whatever, based on what cars I like and what preferences I have, what car should I buy? And let's say that this system is so advanced that basically Google can give you the perfect car for your preferences. Now, this could theoretically happen, and it ultimately changes a lot of things that currently are everywhere. You wouldn't need any car ads anymore because you can get the perfect car just by asking this algorithm. And what would it do to your image of yourself if there's an algorithm that can do everything and it can do it better than you could do it yourself? That probably has a huge impact on how you view your value and your entire life. So it's a very deep topic, and it's not something where you can simply come up with a solution. But I think this is exactly why these points in the book are very interesting, and this is what I meant with there are no easy lessons here in the beginning. The content is a lot more nuanced than that. Alright, with that short overview, let's get to my likes first and then my dislikes. So, my first point I really enjoyed. The book is very factual, and I always like that. So, as I said, I think he has a historical background, and the book is always factual. It builds upon historical research or maybe historical events and stuff like that. So it fleshes out the topics it talks about and then basically ensures that this is the ground floor for the discussion following after that. I think some people could say that a lot of the stuff in the book is pretentious, but I don't think it's pretentious. I do think these are important topics for the future. Maybe not everything will play out like the book describes, but it would still be very important, just in case it does, to talk about these things. Now, I think some of the chapters are better and some of them are weaker. To be honest, not everything was very interesting to me, but when I read the book and I read this technology AI chapter, I was blown away, and I think for that chapter alone it might be worth reading the book. If you don't like a chapter, you can just skip it. The other thing I enjoyed is that the book is pretty political, and I know that's not something that everybody enjoys, which is why I say that I enjoyed it, but it doesn't mean that you will. I like when books are political and don't try to hide it. There is no objective book in the world because you always have a subjective author. So I like that personally. And the last thing is just the general setup. There are very hard problems, very complex problems here, and this book doesn't try to like give a simple guide. Instead of that, it provides historical context and actually some suggested solutions. So I think that's very interesting. When I get to my dislikes, like I said, sometimes it depends. So the book can almost slide into the pretentious area, and maybe it gets too political for you. Maybe it gets too far out there. Maybe you don't enjoy all of this historical context. And so I don't have a huge big dislike about the book. As I said, some of the chapters aren't that interesting to me personally, and I'm pretty sure that for everybody out there watching this, there's not going to be you're not going to enjoy every single chapter in this book. But other than that, I didn't really dislike anything that was going on in the book. So my score for the book overall was an 8 out of 10. I feel like this book is pretty hard to rate. Personally, I really enjoyed the book, but I can see how people take issue with some of the stuff in the book. It does come off a little pretentious at times, even though, as I said, in my opinion, the topics are important to talk about. Yeah, but overall, as I said, it is pretty rational and pretty factual, so that's what I always like, and it gives a new perspective a lot of times. It shows me thoughts that I never had about certain topics before, and I always appreciate that. Keep an open mind, and I think if you do, then you will enjoy this book as well. So yeah, that's it for the review of this book. If you've read the book, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of Sapiens if you read that one, because as I said, I plan on reading that. I heard that it's pretty good. One last thing, if you are kind of interested in the book but aren't sure, you can watch one of Harari's speeches up on YouTube as well. So I've seen a bunch of them uploaded. They're sometimes pretty long. You can just check one of them out if you like how he thinks and talks. Maybe go for the book. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like and sub to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye!